Hello everyone, welcome back to Pallence AI. If you've been following this playlist, we have come a long way together. We started from the very basics. What is AI? What is ML? What is deep learning? And how they are all connected. And how do neural networks actually learn? We went to the core building blocks. Weights and parameters, activation functions, loss functions, gradient descent. Then we spent a good amount of time understanding different types of neural networks, starting with dense layers, then we went on to CNNs, convolutional neural networks, basically dealing with image data. And in the last two videos, we transitioned into something new, sequence data, whether it's time series or language data or text. We understood how this data looks like, and on a high level, what kind of neural network architectures can handle it. Now in this video, we're going to go one level deeper. We're going to look at RNNs, Recurrent Neural Networks. We'll understand the intuition, the memory concept, and the math behind them. And I'm going to break it down as simply as I can. Now you might wonder, in a world where everybody is talking about ChatGPT, LLMs, which are based on transformer architecture, why should we even care about RNNs? That's a fair question, but here is my honest answer. Recurrent neural networks, or RNNs, are not just history. They're still being used today in real-world applications where we need lightweight, fast, real-time processing. For example, modeling sensor data, anomaly detection, embedded systems. But most importantly, and this is what I really want you to appreciate, understanding RNNs deeply could be a natural path to understanding how we got to the transformer architecture, the magic behind the modern day LLMs. The limitations of RNNs literally motivated the transformer architecture. So when we get to the transformer architecture later in this playlist, and we will, everything will click so much faster because you understood RNNs first. Think of it like this. If you could jump straight to calculus, but if you deeply understood algebra first, calculus feels intuitive rather than intimidating. That's kind of the relationship between, maybe a good analogy, between RNNs and transformers. Now, you can watch this video on its own strength if you have some basic understanding of deep learning. But if you're completely new to these concepts, I would strongly encourage you to start from the beginning of this playlist, where each video builds on the previous one. And that foundation will make everything that follows, so much more easier to understand. And I've linked the full playlist in the description below, the deep learning playlist. Okay, let's get into it and do a proper deep dive into recurrent neural networks, or RNNs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain a simple RNN layer with 5 hidden neurons. Okay, all right. So what you see here, the schematic, are basically a simple architecture of a simple RNN layer. Okay, let me first talk about XT. What is XT? XT is your input data. So let's say it's your input sequence. So what is a sequence? Again, sequence could be a time series or human language. If it is a time series, XT is the value of some commodity or some quantity, let's say sales, at different times. If it's a stock price of NVIDIA at different days, right? Each day is a time, right? And for each day, what was the NVIDIA stock price? That's a time series. Or if the sequence is a sentence, right? Like Elon Musk is the CEO of Tesla, right? Elon is one time, Musk is time step 2, is time step 3, CEO time step 4. Okay, so the time, so we use this time step T, to denote the sequence of different elements in a sequence. Okay, so bear with me, you'll understand this shortly. Okay, so XT, let's say, is your input sequence. So you give it to this RNN layer. So in this RNN layers, we have 5 neurons, or 5 hidden units, you can say. Okay, all right. So typically the way RNN layers work is at a particular time step. So the notation I have used is at time T. Okay, so at a particular time step, the input X goes into this RNN layer, right? And then an output comes out of it, AT. Okay, but to calculate this AT, the AT is calculated not only from XT, but also from a previous AT. the AT at a previous time step, that is AT minus 1. So you use AT minus 1 and XT to compute AT. So that would be the output of this simple RNN layer. And on top of this, you can add one more unit, like the final unit to predict the output YT if needed. But the basic output of the RNN layer is AT. If you want, we can add one more unit and you can calculate this YT. Okay. Don't worry too much. If it's not clear, it will become clear very soon. Okay. All right. Once I start unrolling this in time. Okay. So this is a RNN at time T. All right. So let me unroll this in time. What does that mean? Something like this. So I'm unrolling this RNN layer through time T so that we can understand it better. Okay. So it can look something like this. See, now hopefully it's getting a little bit better. It's more clear. So now you can think of x1, x2, x3, if it helps, as like some kind of a sentence. Okay, let me just put it here. So let's say X is Elon Musk founded Tesla in 2003 and it is headquartered in Palo Alto, California. So x1 is Elon, x2 is Musk, x3 is founded, and so on until the last word California, xt is California. Okay, so let's say if you have a sequence like this, and our goal is to do token classification, meaning what is the entity, what is the class each token belongs to. We also call it named entity recognition. Okay, so for each of this X, we will have an output Y. Okay, so that's what we're trying to predict, let's say. Okay, so given Elon, we want to predict the Y1. So if X1 is Elon, Y1 is person. If X2 is Musk, Y2 is also person. Okay, and if x3 is founded, y3 is nothing, because just like a general category, it doesn't belong to any entities we are interested in. And this last xt, California, we want the moment our model sees this word California or token California, it should predict the yt, the last time step, as it belongs to entity location. So this person, organization, date, location, think of these are all the classes, or the token classes, or the entities, right, which we are trying to predict. Okay, so if this is the goal, given a sentence, we want to predict the different entities. So for each time step, right, for each token, we have a corresponding output. So even for those like we're not interested in any particular entity, like for example, founded, there is no entity. The model will still predict some kind of a class, like let's say, other category. Okay, so for each word in this sentence, or each token in this sentence, or for each time step in this sentence, we predict a Y. Okay, so that's the goal. Now, how is that happening? Again, let's look at the first time step. So for the first time step, or the first word, right, it goes into this layer, and this layer has 5 units, right? So imagine that, the dense network where we saw. So in the dense network, we just had one X which was directly connected to Y, right? So think of that entire dense network with one Y. Now that belonging to this just one time step, if that helps. If it is confusing, ignore what I just said. Okay. But for now, say Elon, that this word is going into this. You have this 5 neurons. Okay. Now, what the model does is it will take this Elon, right? And also A0. A0 is the previous time step. Now, what is the previous time step here? This is the first time step. So there is nothing before, right? So A0 will be 0. So for this first time step, there is no contribution from this A0. Okay. So basically use this Elon, right? It goes into that and you predict A1 first. And on top of that, you have one more unit in green you see here. And then you want to predict it as person. Okay. Now, the output A1 from this first time step is fed into the second time step. So for the second time step, now not only the second word or token is going into the layer, but also A1 from the previous time step is going into this layer. So you compute A2 using A1 and X2, and you compute Y2 using A2, and so on. So you feed this A2 to the next time step. So when you want to compute A3, you're going to use both X3 and A2 to compute A3, and from there you're going to compute Y3. You get the idea. Okay. So this is called, what you see on the left is a RNN, a simple RNN layer with 5 units, 5 hidden neurons, unrolled in time. You see it on the right side. Okay. All right, this is a simple RNN layer. And you can see here, now clearly there is a dependency here, right? For example, Elon Musk founded Tesla. So the Tesla is related to Elon Musk. And that dependency is coming because the output of each time step is fed back into the next time step. So this kind of a dependency, this kind of a memory we haven't seen with images, right? Or that's the reason, there for images we used, CNNs and dense layers. But when it comes to sequence data where this dependency is important, where the dependency within a sample is important, we use recurrent neural networks. Okay? All right. Now, again, let me show you how you calculate the equations here. So let me just show you with respect to the time step t, because this is in general. So for a time step t, how do you calculate the equations? So A0, again, the first time step is 0. That I already mentioned. I want to mention it again. But at time step t, AT, you calculate it from AT minus 1 and XT. Okay. So how do you do that? Again, now you define some weights which we initially have to guess. But these weights will actually be learned as part of the training process. Once the training is completed, right, these weights will be learned. But initially, you just guess them randomly. So you have weights X, which you're going to multiply with XT. And then you have weight matrix WA, which you're going to multiply with AT minus 1. And on top of that, you can have a bias term BA. And then on this entire thing, you're going to apply an activation function. Okay? So with that, you're going to get AT. What about YT? Well, once you compute AT, right, then again, you're going to guess another weight matrix, WY. You're going to use that to compute, to multiply, with this AT matrix multiplication, plus BY. And on top of that, you introduce nonlinearity again through an activation function, F, right? And then you're going to get YT. Okay? So these are the equations typically behind a recurrent neural network. Now, if you're wondering about the shapes, how does the shapes look like? So again, see this x1 to xt, right? Each of that is a word, right? Each of this x1 is a word, let's say in this sentence. Now, for each word, each x1, you can, say for example, if it is English language, Elon, how do you represent Elon? So for, again, machine learning or deep learning, they don't understand text directly, right? You have to convert them into some numeric output. So typically, Elon is converted into some kind of a numeric vector. So imagine x1 to be some kind of a 100-dimensional numeric vector that represents Elon. Okay, what is that 100-dimensional numeric vector? Don't worry at this stage. I'm going to explain that later. Okay. All right. But imagine that this x1 itself now, each word or each token, right, in this sequence can have more features, number of features. So, right, so Elon word could be represented by a numeric vector. Similarly, Musk will be represented by a numeric vector, founded by a numeric vector. Okay. So numeric vector of some dimensions. So each of this token in this sentence will have some features. Okay. All right. So if this entire input data xt, it's a m by nf matrix. M is going to be like total number of samples. So let's say you have 1 million reviews. Okay. So that m is 1 million. Okay. And for 1 million reviews, each word in a single review can be represented by some kind of a numeric vector. I'm calling it input features. Okay. If this is the case, then, and the YT, let's say you're just trying to predict, one output unit at time step T. Okay. And then if you use these 5 hidden neurons, I just want to show you the shapes of these weights, how they look like, just like we have done with the CNNs. So now the weight matrix WX will be of the shape, it will be NF times HN type matrix. Okay. All right. And then WA, which will be a HN, right, times HN matrix. That will be its shape. And you can calculate the weight from that. Similarly, WY will be a HN times 1. And then again, you have the bias terms. The BA is just number of hidden neurons here. And the BY is just 1. Okay. Let it sink in. If it is still not clear, I would advise you to spend some time understanding how the RNN at time step looks like and what is this unrolling. Okay. And then work your way through these equations. Hopefully that will help. And if it's still not clear, please don't worry. Understand the concept for now as to what we're trying to do. Okay, the main concept is, unlike images, we have a concept of time here, meaning because it's a sequence. Okay, it's not literally a time. If it's a time series, it's going to be a time, right? But if it's a language, right, it's just a sequence where each word you can think of it as a time step. Okay, all right. So that was RNNs for you, or recurrent neural networks. Now in the next video, we're going to look at different types of RNN architectures. Because depending upon the type of problem we are solving, whether it's sentiment analysis, named entity recognition, question answering, translation, or text generation, right? The RNN network will also look different. And understanding these different architectures is going to set us up perfectly for when we get to more advanced neural networks like LSTMs, GRU, and eventually transformers. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss these later concepts and videos, in a timely fashion. And if you found this video helpful, honestly, the best thing you can do is please share it with someone who is also trying to learn AI. This is what this channel is all about, making these fundamentals, these concepts genuinely as clear as possible for anyone who wants to really understand AI and what's happening in the world of AI today. All right, I will see you in the next one. Happy learning.